Good afternoon, everybody. This is my topic. I know Dr. Kumar, who is supposed to be the chairperson for this session from last 25 years. And we have given many lectures together in many meetings. And when he said, I am preparing a presentation on this topic, and I want you to speak, I was very happy. But when he allotted me this topic, I was very unhappy, and it gave me sleepless nights. So with this disclaimer, let me hope that my sleepless nights do not turn into make you sleepy throughout the presentation. And because of the nature of the topic, there is going to be repetition. We saw already that happening with Dr. Guru Prasad's presentation, Mahesh's presentation, and Garima's presentation, but this is unavoidable, and therefore I apologize for the same. Some suggested techniques to break the ice. Break the ice basically means you just want to establish connection with the audience. Can we have the lights in the background, please, on? One is start with a joke. This can be a very good way to open a presentation, and best it is done at your own expense rather than pulling somebody else's leg. Then our audience will appreciate it much more. Open with a raise your hand question. Often when I give a lecture on a particular topic, let's say laser treatment for diabetic macular edema, so I generally ask the audience, how many in the audience do carry out laser treatment for any retinal disease? Then you can get an idea of the level of the audience and how many people are doing. So you can actually tailor your talk, and also you can establish a contact with the audience. So start with some kind of a question that involves audience participation. Start with a quote. We have any number of philosophers, saints, sages, and seers who have put together knowledge in a very, very succinct, short sentence or a phrase. These can be powerful phrases, and they can be used quite well to start your presentation and hold the attention of the audience. And this technique I often use whenever there is, let's say, a topic on diabetic traction retinal detachment. I start off with the case that came to me, how the case presented, what I did with that patient, and what happened to that patient. And that whole thing opens up the topic of traction retinal detachment. When should we operate? How should we operate? That's a good technique to start off a medical topic. Common mistake is to giving out too much information. Today, there is a lot of information available to all of us. At the click of a button, hundreds of pages open up and give you information from all parts of the world. So there's no dearth of information. So don't give out too much information. And don't repeat what is in a textbook. If somebody wants to learn about myopic foveal schisis, he can open a textbook and read about it and learn everything. So what the audience wants to know is what is your understanding of the disease and what is your experience with the disease, and based on that, what you're going to say. That's what is going to make sense to the audience than what is written in a standard textbook. So don't make these mistakes. So general rules is, can anybody tell me what the KISS stands for? It is not the KISS. Keep it simple and short. Yes, Mahesh, you are right. So keep it simple and short to hold the attention of the audience. Summarize and simplify. I think these points have been very succinctly covered by all the previous speakers. So unfortunately, none of us have this kind of a device to keep our attention of the audience. So we have to be careful what we say, how we say. This point has already been emphasized quite well. Do not make the mistake of putting complete sentences. Why is that? I think this also was put forward by Guru, that you can read faster than, the audience can read the sentence faster than what you can say, and so soon lose interest. So never put complete sentences, but put phrases to keep the attention of the audience. Well, you could do this, or at least do not make the mistake of looking at your notes and reading without bothering to look at the audience. Look at the audience, make eye contact with them, look at some people, so that you establish the connection. Otherwise, if you're always looking at your laptop screen or the screen without looking at the audience, you do not make the contact, you do not hold the attention of the audience. Well, I don't know, this slide needs more work. This means you are not sure of what this slide shows. So worst thing that happens is a slide comes and then you pause, you look at the slide, then you see, oh, this is the slide about this particular stage. So not knowing what the next slide is one of the basic mistakes that can distract the audience and make the audience turn away. Their attention gets distracted. So know what your next slide is so that you don't, waste time looking at the slide, trying to think what you say. Very important, audience may only pretend to listen to you while you pretend to talk to them. When this might happen? Not tailoring your talk to audience. Let us take an example, diabetic macular edema. I can give a lecture on diabetic macular edema like Guru Prasad. I am also a VR surgeon, so the topics I take will be VR only. Let's say we take a talk on diabetic macular edema. If I am talking to undergraduates, if I am talking to postgraduates of medicine, if I am talking to ophthalmology postgraduates, if I am talking to a nursing students, if I am talking to ophthalmology fellows in vitreoretinal surgery, if I am talking to a practicing general practitioners, family physicians, if I am talking to physicians, so each of these audience are different. You cannot have the same talk for all these audience. You need to tailor the talk to the audience, otherwise you will lose the interest of the audience. So very important, whenever you are giving a lecture, you need to know what is the composition of the audience. Does it consist of students, practicing ophthalmologists, practitioners, postgraduate, general public? You need to do some research and tailor your talk. So holding the attention, ask question in between. You could ask, how many of you do this? How many of you practice this? How many of you have seen this? Something like that. Take a poll again. How many of you are using Avastin in your practice? Raise a hand. Something like that, which is relevant to the topic. Don't go something out of the way and ask some questions just for the sake of it. Make it a part of your presentation and the flow. So this will keep the interest of the audience and hold the attention of the audience. And keep moving on the stage. Don't be glued to one place. Keep moving on the stage. You all know that a moving target attracts more attention than a stationary object. And ending. This has been emphasized quite well by my previous speakers. You cannot be like this. How to give a presentation? Thank you, I am going. You cannot be like that. Summarize. Couple of take-home points. I think this all have been emphasized very well by Guru Prasad. Important to acknowledge the host organization, thank them, and any other help, and at last encourage questions and other views. So in conclusion, presenting, it is said that giving a public speech is one of the most dreaded things, only next to death in the mind of people. There is a mental block. And second important point to remember is that an average attention span of anybody is only 10 seconds. Goldfish has an attention span of 11 seconds. So you have a challenge to keep the audience focus with you. So you can use well-known technique to start your presentation. Attention to small details which have been highlighted so well by Guru Prasad, Mahesh and Garima and Dr. Mahesh could help you hold the attention of the audience. Needless to say, a good planning and rehearsal goes behind every presentation, every good presentation. and use of pictures and videos which speak more than 1,000 words. And all the best for your next lecture, wherever it may be. I thank Dr. Kumar for giving me the opportunity to give this presentation.